morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the geeks out there and out of the and welcome to another Geek... Oh my god, I knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to do it. To another Our Little Geekdom, another podcast. This is podcast number 35. Yes, we are doing number 35 today. And 35 means we're getting further and further in, which means we're getting closer to the 100 mark. Yes, it's going to take a long time to get there, but we will eventually get there. It will happen. It will. Weekly podcasts every single week. You'll get one. You'll get one. Anyway, so we'd like to welcome Soldin. You're a content creator yourself. You're actually a streamer, I believe.
Yes. I am a streamer on Twitch.
Oh, nice. You see, I don't follow Twitch streamers. This is where Kez comes in because she does all of that. I just talk shit with the guys about the games and stuff like that. That's my thing. I like to just talk shit about it. So before
but those are the people out there that don't know you. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm Soldin, and I like to play games on Twitch. I stream a lot of Final Fantasy. We used to be a variety channel until the community actually got me into Final Fantasy, and now we have nights where we cry and laugh and do both things at the same time, thanks to the amazing storytelling that Square Enix is doing. If we're not playing that, we normally play Hunt Showdown, which is where you'll see a lot of rage happening and not so many great plays. But that's pretty much the channel at the moment. Like I said, used to be variety, used to play a whole bunch of different things, but kind of fallen into the Final Fantasy trap.
Excuse me. No, that's pretty awesome though. I believe you also used to play Sea of Thieves, or do you still play?
Yes,
Sea of
Thieves? we still play. We take time off because when we end up playing, myself and the crew that I sail with, we end up no-lifing. we were like, okay, you know what? It was actually yesterday. Let's go and do like 1 or 2 missions. Let's just, get a feel for the seas. 6-7 hours later, it was like, okay, we have to stop now, guys.
Yeah, no, I don't think Kez and I ever got into that because we didn't have, it was 2 of us, that was it. Not a big enough crew to do anything with. And apparently you have to have a lot more people to play that game, so we've been, avoiding it like the plague.
It can be tough. I mean, I played solo for the first 6 or 7 months of my playtime.
Yeah. Before
people caught on and were like, hey, actually that looks like you're having fun.
Yeah, well,
it is much easier with a crew.
Yeah,
it is much easier with
I'm sure, because you've got people handling the guns that you don't have to keep running to them, and people being able to shovel water out of the ship when it starts sinking. Yes, we didn't have that luxury. just Kez and myself. But no, I get where you guys are coming from. I mean, it's quite cool that you're doing that. So tell us, you said that Final Fantasy's been doing a whole bunch of new stuff with the servers now. They're giving time away because of the amount of people in servers.
So Endwalker just released its early access on Friday, the 3rd. Today's the 5th. Yeah, Friday was the 3rd. So Friday morning, the early access started for Endwalker, which is huge. It's a pretty massive expansion that they've put together, and some of the queue times for some servers, I mean, the server I play on personally is quite a busy one usually. That's why I've given it a week before I even go to jump in there. But some of my friends were telling me, hey, I was in there early morning, there was 850 people in queue. Not so bad. That's like not even a 10-minute wait. But half an hour later, 8,000, 9,000. Towards the evening time, like 20,000 people in queue.
Jeez.
So the nice thing is the servers are not dying, which is what the MMO communities are usually... they would usually experience, okay, the entire servers are dead. So kudos to them for having like strong servers holding these queues and getting people in and out safely. But when you're sitting in a queue of 20,000 plus, which a lot of servers like mine and most of the Asian servers do because there's so many players, it can lead to hours of sitting in queue.
Yeah.
So what they've done is they've issued out complimentary 7 days of game time for everyone across all boards. Even the 30-day free trial players are getting 7 days of free game time.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. Like I was saying before, I don't pay subscriptions for single games. I don't think that I should waste my money like that. If I'm going to be paying for something, it better be worth my time. And when I play MMOs, I like to purchase the MMOs that I play. So, for example, when I play games like Guild Wars, where it's actually you purchase the game, you get the game, you purchase the expansion, you get the expansion. There's no monthly fees that you have to pay to carry on playing the game. I understand why some companies do it, but to be honest, if Guild Wars can keep their servers running with
and Elder Scrolls
can keep their servers running with their markets, then so can any other MMO. There's no real need to actually charge every single month. I mean, like, I'm not going to say that you mustn't do it. Don't get me wrong. You guys can play it however you want to. That's your decision. It's just that's how I feel. I don't want to pay. I'm not going to pay subscriptions to a game. Especially one that I'm not invested in, and I'm not invested in it, so I'm not gonna. I'm in Final Fantasy, that is. I like Final Fantasy, but I'm more of a single-player Final Fantasy person. I've always felt that Final Fantasy was more of a single-player game for me, so I've never really wanted to play with other people. So I'm quite happy.
Have you played any of the other Final Fantasies? The like offline ones?
Oh, me, yeah. I played 10, 12, 8, a little bit of 7, a little bit of 6. I have 9, but I've never played it.
I've got 9 as well, I've never played it either. What actually got me into Final Fantasy was 7. It was the first game I ever played on. I had it on my PlayStation 1. So, yeah, the very first Final Fantasy I ever played. And I fell in love with RPGs then, and ever since I've been like an RPG kind of person, if you can call it that.
That's the one thing that I love about the Final Fantasy thing. So we used to do, on my channel, we used to do RPG Sundays, and we'd sit and we'd try and finish as many RPGs as possible. So like we played Horizon Zero Dawn, Death Stranding, whatever story-based games that were like strong in story. That was what we used to all just sit and play and get through the story together and have those emotions. And with Final Fantasy, it's been literally there's literally been nights where we started the night out happy, got halfway through, cried our heart out, like having to take a break on stream, and then getting to the end and being like on the verge of I'm just shutting down now. That's how angry I am. The story writing is just, it's the same emotional roller coaster as Final Fantasy 8. And that was my favorite Final Fantasy.
Kiz hasn't played it yet, so she wouldn't know. She hasn't played 7 either, though, to be honest.
Ooh.
The only ones I've played was Crisis Core with Zach, and that was on the PSP one.
Yeah.
And then I played some of 13. That's my Final Fantasy experience. But I've watched Ziv play some of them, and I've watched other people play other ones, and I've watched people like yourself and a few other streamers play the online ones. So I mostly just sit and watch them. But the stories that I have seen are quite immersive and quite they hit you in the feels for sure.
Yeah, well, if she actually finished Crisis Core, she would know what hitting me in the fields really.
She would know what that feels like.
That is one of the saddest stories you will ever play.
Same time, Final Fantasy has now released a battle royale.
Why? Why? You know what?
Because relevancy.
Yeah, but it's not relevant to Square Enix. The whole thing is, if every company releases a battle royale, you know what's going to happen?
There'll be no other game.
No one's going to play any other game because that's all these companies are going to release. They're going to be like Netflix and fucking Amazon all releasing the same stupid crap over and over again. Why? There's a reason why indie companies are doing so much better than the big names now. The indie companies are doing better because they're designing little games that are fun. And people are just getting sucked into these little games that are fun. And these big companies are going, let's follow on with them, and then they all latch onto it. Then the indie companies go, okay, well we're going to do something else now because all the big companies are doing it, so we're going to lose money. We'll go there. So it's like,
the big companies can't think for themselves anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to like the innovation of new game genres and new games in general, the indie guys are always gonna have a little bit of an upper hand, because there's not so many eyes on them, and there's not so many people expecting it to be big budget. I mean, for example, have a look at Anthem. Anthem was big budget, brand new IP, and actually, I thought that it had amazing potential. I
thought so too,
really enjoyed the gameplay. Sure, the story was a bit lacking, but the systems that they had in there, if they had listened to player base and said, okay, cool, we will up the legendary drop rate because that is what everyone is asking for.
Yeah.
They would have had legs to stand on for the next reboot, the NXT reboot that they had planned and then cancelled.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you look at an indie company trying new IPs out, Valheim exploded.
Yeah, exactly. And that's indie companies doing something different with the game. That, to me, and this is why I've always been one of those people that respects and tries to actually get on with all of the indie games that come out, and tries to see what new indie games are coming out. Because, at one point, StardewValley, for example, I know that's because I'm busy playing it at the moment. Give me a break. It was actually an indie game in the beginning. It was originally an indie title. And it's
a one man indie game.
Exactly. Minecraft was also a single person at one point that created the game, and those games blew up and became huge because of the fact that it was an indie developer that actually did it. And then now obviously Minecraft has been taken over by Microsoft, and I think so has StardewValley. I'm not.
I don't know
sure
about StardewValley,
but nonetheless, the companies, they buy them out. They buy all of these companies out, and they make them bigger that way. So, in my opinion, the more indie games we follow, the better games we'll get from those developers. CD Projekt Red was a good example of an indie developer that exploded, and unfortunately they went the route of exploding and then shooting themselves in the foot. But the game is good. Cyberpunk 2077. The game is good. I like it. I do. I love it. I think it's a brilliant game. But they released it too early.
Speaking of, I don't know if it's true, but it came up on my phone.
There's a new update for it?
No, there are murmurings of The Witcher 4.
Oh yes, I've been seeing those coming up and down as well. But from what I've seen, and I hope it goes this way, Geralt's story is over.
It was supposed to be over in 3.
It's supposed to finish. You can't just carry on.
So
That would
4,
just be silly.
I'm interested to see who becomes the main protagonist.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how the story is written, because if they're going to keep following on with the story the way it was written, there actually aren't any witches left. At least not from the school.
No, they aren't. Even Sorry, yeah, in 3, there's multiple endings. So you can either end off with Siri alive, or you can end off with Siri dead, or you can end off with not actually knowing.
Yeah.
So they can't even really say, oh, okay, here's Siri, even though she died in your last game.
Here's Siri, even though she died in the last game. See? She can't be the protagonist. That's the whole thing. Unless they take it back, which wouldn't make any sense. But if The Witcher 4 does come out, my opinion is that it will more than likely be Geralt, because he never died. They might have something new with Geralt. It might be he might carry on from somewhere else, and you never know. You might be able to play as some of the sorceresses as well, which would be fucking epic. I would love to play as well. I would love to play as Yennefer. Yes, I would love to play as her. She seems so fucking powerful.
But that's the thing with games like that. There's not just one story. Yes, there's the witches, but you've also got the mages. You've got the other armies and stuff like that as well. So there is different things. Yes, it's called The Witcher 4 or whatever, but you can still focus on the other stories, because there's not just one thing happening. There's all these other little things happening in the background that you don't really know about.
100%. I mean, if you look at like the druid storyline in Witcher 3 in Skellige, like when you go over there and you do quests around them, but you never actually get into what's going on. You get little bits and pieces of how they like more like scientists for the Earth. Like there's a lot of potential.
Yeah, they're like druids or whatever they were calling. I remember they were saying that Siri is supposed to be a witcher, but it's not true. If you follow the lore of The Witcher, and this is going back from number 1, girls were never made witches because apparently they aren't. The chemicals can screw their bodies up because they've got a different sort of magic or something in them. I can't remember if it was magic or I don't know.
The chaos moves with them differently or something to that effect. Moves with them
differently, which essentially, if they had to go through the what was it called, the grossing,
mutation or
if they
I don't know what the actual word was.
Yeah, they would actually die every single time. I mean, the survival rate for the boys was very low as it was, but survival rate for girls was they had tried before. I read a book somewhere in The Witcher as well where they were saying they had tried before to actually make females into witches because they would be immensely powerful if they did actually make females into witches. But every time they tried, no matter what they did, the girls would always die. So they wouldn't try. They stopped trying with the girls and just kept on with the boys because there was no success with the girls. And what I like about that is that the girls in this show or in this game actually have extreme power when it comes to being witches and sorcerers. Oh my god, they are so powerful. Look at Yennefer, look at Triss, look at all. They're more powerful than any of the mages in the game because sorceresses are more powerful. It's always with the story. It's always been that sorceresses are more powerful than mages because they as you said, the chaos in them is a lot more. But that also makes their magic a lot more powerful when they are sorceresses, hence the reason why they are so much more powerful. So, which is why the Sorceress's Lodge was actually started by them because they were being held down by the Circle of Mages, the Circle of Magi, or whatever the hell they were called. I remember something about that as well. I like to read tidbits when I'm going through the game and stuff like that, and I pick up all this.
Oh yeah, same.
I pick up all this useless information, but it's stuff that people say, "Oh no, but Yennefer, God damn it, Siri should be a witcher." It's like she can't be a witcher. She can do what witches do, but she has her own bloody power. She doesn't need to be a witcher. Why would you want Siri to be a witcher? Because Siri is. She can blink in and out of areas. She can literally go from one plane to another. Why would you want her to be a witcher? That doesn't make any sense. She's powerful
but that's the thing.
On her own.
People play the games and pick up little tits and bits that she was trained by Geralt. And all of a sudden, that must mean she's a witcher. Yeah. But that's not at all what it means. All Geralt did was taught her how to fight.
Yeah.
Taught her how to defend herself.
Yeah.
He didn't even teach her how to use her own abilities.
No, she learned that herself. Well, she learned that herself until the elven mage came in and actually, because she learned how to use bits and pieces, but she learned how to control it more than actually use it, because of the fact that she was killing people unnecessarily and she couldn't control that. She learned how to control that, and then I remember the elven mage came in, and this is how The Witcher 3 actually all started up its whole the hunt for Ciri and trying to find her, was that he actually kept her away from the wild hunt because he wants her power so that he can bring his people over to a different plane so that they can destroy that plane and he can control all the planes, which is what the whole spiel is behind him. And they were trying to keep her away from the wild hunt, which is it's a very intriguing story. It's probably one of the best stories I've actually ever played. The whole thing behind how Ciri actually is more powerful than that. When people said, "Oh, she must become a witcher now because she's trained by witches," no, it just means she can kick your ass.
Yeah, pretty much.
It just means she's really good with swords. But over and above that, she can probably kick a witch's ass because she can literally blink behind them and blink around them, and they can't do anything about that unless they figure out some decoction that might help. But otherwise, she could whoop their asses every single time.
I mean, I think that would be a good fight to watch. Actually,
I think so too. A Witcher and Ciri. Yeah, that would be one hell
Like
of a
a
story.
younger Geralt.
Yeah.
Younger Geralt when he's stronger and faster
Yeah.
against Siri. I think that would be quite an interesting
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
outcome.
Old man Geralt won't have a chance.
No.
Although old man Geralt, you see how powerful that dude is anyway. I mean,
That's
he
true.
can
That's
take
true.
freaking dragons down. Although it takes planning and planning. With Siri, it's just like blink, stab, blink. He's dead. He's coming
Yep.
down. Watch. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he's gone. But yeah, that's me and stories when it comes to how The Witcher grew. Though I started playing the first one now as well, because I wanted to see where the story actually came from when it came to the games. Because I only ever played 2, I never finished 2, but I played 2, and then I played 3 to completion, except the expansions. I haven't played the expansions yet, so I still have to do that. But
I played the one expansion. I didn't play the other one.
Hard.
they're not that hard. You just gotta level up. You just gotta level
Yeah,
up.
pretty much.
You can't just run in guns a blazing. You know how the game is designed.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
designed for you to actually work at it. Then New Game Plus, you can go in guns a blazing because ain't no one gonna stop you. Then you're way too powerful for them.
They definitely want you to be spending your time going around and looking for like the school armors
Yeah, definitely.
before diving in. I think it's part. This is one of the reasons why I actually really enjoyed 3.
Yeah.
A little bit more over 2 is preparation was key to everything, and I feel like that whole you need this armor to get through is part of the preparation that they don't actually tell you about. It's one of those things where if you're gonna play, you're gonna sort of have to figure this out.
Head first, bitch, and you know what? You're gonna have to learn yourself. No, it is. It's awesome though. It's like at the moment I've just restarted the game now. So not restarted. I'm almost at the end of the game now. But I'm busy looking for the Grandmaster armor because I want the Undine the Grandmaster Undine armor before I finish the game and then carry on with the rest of the game. So I'm busy doing everything. I'm literally map completing. So I'm going from one side of the map to the other, collecting all the treasure as I go along because, well, it's me. And it's really fun to do that. It builds up a whole different kind of gameplay, and also it takes a lot longer to finish the game. Because I'm nowhere near finished. And it's also then I've got to go into the expansions and start clearing up those maps and just having fun with the stories and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But again, that's me. That's IndieGames. That's what I've always been into. I've never liked the fact that, like for example, Square Enix has now decided, no, we're going to bring out a battle royale for Final Fantasy. Okay. Not sure
I
how
was
many
like,
people are
when I
gonna
saw
play
that, I was
one.
like, oh, awesome, we're getting a new Final Fantasy game. And then when it came out, because it is a mobile game,
Yeah.
it was like, wow, it's a battle royale. Cool.
Wow, it's not like we haven't seen this 100 times.
This is great. Good job, guys.
Yay.
Instead of remastering things and making battle royales, maybe focus on the next new Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Look, I don't mind the fact that they remastered Final Fantasy 7. I'm not going to pay money to play the game because, sorry, but you're not gonna weasel 3 full price games at me for one game that I actually know very well. You're not going to weasel me out of money for that. I'm sorry, I won't pay money for Final Fantasy 7's remakes.
That's the thing. Not every game needs a remaster.
Exactly. Like,
It's
perfect example. Rockstar and the Final Fantasy. I mean the Final Fantasy and the GTA
the
trilogy.
GTA trilogy. Oh
Why?
god.
No one wanted that. They're like, oh,
You know
we're
what's
gonna
the best
redo the
part?
game. Why?
Or maybe is it the best part or the worst part? I don't know. But the remasters came out with so many more bugs
Yeah.
than
I
the
noticed that,
originals came out with. That people who are fans actually said, "No, I'm going back to the originals. Refund.
Yeah, look,
I'll keep with the originals."
I was intrigued. I was thinking, if it's worth it, I might just get the remasters because it's nice that they've remastered it to be able to run on these big rigs that we have at the moment. But it is nice to see that they were trying to do that, only because the rigs that we've got now are just too big for the games to handle. But then you're like, I looked at the camera and I'm like, you guys broke it more than the... I mean, number 3 is more broken than it was when it fucking released on PlayStation 2. I was blown away. I was like, what the bloody hell are these people doing?
It's another company that will just do anything they have to avoid making a new game.
And you know what? They used to be... The thing is, Take-Two and Rockstar used to... They were exactly the same as CD Projekt Red. They had the whole, we have the gamer's interest at heart. We're trying to build these games so that they actually have fun and that gamers enjoy the game. Which is why GTA Online succeeded so well, because they were giving people an online game together, and it's like, here you go. This game, it's free. We're not going to charge you a penny or a cent for any of this game. Other than the game that you originally purchased. We're not going to charge you anything else. If you want to, you can buy shark cards and stuff like that. But you can earn the money in-game like every other player would. You can, like what I'm doing on GTA Online at the moment. But then they went and said the stupidest thing they could have ever done. We will never do what CD Projekt Red did and release an unfinished game. Uh-huh.
Oh.
Sure. I don't believe you. Because
okay.
yeah, I'm not going to believe you anymore now. And that I think it was one of the content creators that I watch. He said that comment did not age well.
No.
It certainly didn't, because my god, that game is terrible.
And Ziv was so excited for it, like, super.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I can't wait, I want to buy it, I want to get it. I'm like,
And I'm going to wait, because I'm not stupid.
No, not yet.
I said, I will wait, because I'm not stupid. Because we've been kicked in the nuts one too many times, I'll wait. And I'm very happy I did.
I am not going to pre-order anything probably ever again. No. I mean, even though I'm such I'm so deep into Final Fantasy, I didn't pre-order Endwalker because I come from a WoW background, and the last 2 expansions of WoW, I went from being a dedicated 10-year player, didn't touch any other games in those 10 years, just WoW, to not even bothered about looking at what's coming up next. Yeah. Within 2 expansions.
Yeah. They ruined it. But that's Blizzard for you, though, isn't it? I mean, I always knew it was coming because I saw Blizzard's greed before most people did. Actually, I saw Blizzard's greed when they said, "Oh, we're going to remaster." We're gonna remaster all these strategy games for you.
Oh god!
So here you go.
Oh, that was terrible.
We remastered this, we remastered that, and I said Blizzard's gonna fuck you, and it's coming for World of Warcraft. Just wait, it's coming. No one believed me. No, it'll never happen. Blizzard will never do that. I'm like, they're doing it to your to the single player games. They'll do it to you. And Diablo 2 also being remastered. I knew it was going to happen, that Blizzard was going to screw everyone. The minute they started going into the realm of EA, it was like, yeah, you guys are going to be fucked. And no one believed me, and then it happened. And now people are like, I'm so angry with them. It's like, well, I warned you. Okay, not everyone, but I mean my friends. I warned them, and I said, look, it's going to happen. They're going to fuck you, and you're going to get angry with them when they do. But don't come to me and say it's tell me, because I told you I told you what was going to happen. So no, I do get it, and I feel bad because there were a lot of dedicated players that played that game, and from what I can tell, it was actually a good game. It wasn't actually as bad as I wasn't willing to pay a subscription, but it wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. And yeah. Just the expansions, though. These latest expansions really just screwed everyone up.
You know what? It actually started from the... Well, I suppose... You know what happened, right? But Legion was amazing. Legion was great. Legion was, cool after Warlords of Draenor, which was shit. Legion comes up and it's like, oh, they're redeeming themselves. Yes! Amazing idea for the next expansion, Battle of Azeroth. Extremely bad execution. It's like, wait, is this Draenor again? And then Shadowlands came out and I was just like, cool. It's just... yeah, this is nice. You did a pretty picture.
You made a pretty picture. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. It's one of the reasons why I don't actually give my money to those kinds of companies. You know, I don't know if you remember a game called Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yes.
Okay, that game was also, I'm also surprisingly an indie game. It was done by a small group of developers, but people shunned that game. Oh, it's not a good game. Blah 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 blah. It's not that good. Okay, granted, I only got it later after they fixed the game, and it's actually quite a good game. But I paid for it, and I was happy to pay the company money because the game is actually really fun. It's you're a proper knight. It's really fun to play like that. And I thought, no, it's probably one of the best purchases I've ever gotten. I've got it on PC and PlayStation, just to give you an idea of how good I think the game is.
Nice.
Anyway, you were gonna say
I got it on PC in the beginning, and I was like, because I got a review copy of it.
Oh yeah.
And this is like, sure. I can't remember what was happening at the time. We were playing something, and I was like, okay, now I'll wait till I'm done with this playthrough, and we'll do it on the Sundays where we have our RPG Sundays. And then it just never happened. And one day I was like, you know what? Let me just try it out. And I lost like 2 weeks to that game. I don't know what happened.
It's terrible. The thing is, you sit there and you're trying to actually make sure that Henry is properly built up and that he can handle a mace, a sword, a big sword, a shield, and all the other weapons, because you know that all the shit that you're doing in the game, you're trying to actually just further the story. That you can only go so far before you have to actually go back a bit and then go forward and then go back a bit and then go forward.
Exactly.
And then go back a bit, you have to get stronger as a character before you can go into the game. It's like it's a proper RPG. So
I must say I've switched from keyboard to controller when I played it though. I couldn't do the mouse and keyboard combat.
I prefer it on mouse and keyboard. The controller is
really?
Yeah, dude, the controller throws me off.
Angry.
Yeah.
So angry.
Yeah, the controller throws me off. The PC is so easy. It's a lot easier to fight with a PC than it is with a mouse and keyboard for me than it is with a controller. Because I'm not having to switch arms like using the analog stick. I can just do it with the mouse and keyboard, and or the mouse at least, and it's a lot easier to do that.
Yeah.
And I can actually feign attacks now, and I can actually, strike when I need to strike, and get in there and actually hurt someone when I need to. Whereas before I couldn't.
Yeah, no, I'm on the other end of the spectrum. Like with the keyboard, I think maybe it's because I spent so many years in MMOs. I mean, like if you look at my mouse, most of my buttons are here. Like, I only have half the keyboard that I actually use. And then you get these games where it's like, okay, no, but you have to use H. And I'm like, how do you reach H?
Yeah, it is difficult at times, but not impossible.
Stretchy fingers.
It's not impossible. It's just you gotta be quick to be able to do the switch to H.
Yeah.
And also moving around it's not that difficult. You gotta learn to actually fight like a proper soldier would have fought, and that's like hit and then back up and then hit and then back up and then hit and then back up and but
the combat in that game was also really I think it was something that just flew over people's heads with how well it was actually done.
Exactly.
I mean, when you had to block a shot from a mace, your character felt that.
Yeah.
Like you had that little bit of a stagger.
Yeah.
And if you actually got hit with it,
well, then you staggered more. No, and it also depends on the armor that you when you're playing the game and you get clapped on the head, even with a sword, when you get clapped on the head and you got your helmet on, you can actually feel it. You don't literally feel it, but the sound effect is so well done that you can actually feel like that felt weird.
Like your character actually had to take that like step to stop from the whole head.
It's really well done. I think the combat was The thing is, people didn't like the combat because it was too hard. But yeah, okay, pick up a sword and go do it in reality and see how easy it is. It's not much. It's not any easier. That's why I liked it. It was actually it's closer to what combat would actually be like when you're using a mouse and keyboard or a controller. It's closer to that kind of combat than it would ever be. And I like the fact that they actually used it that way. It's difficult, yes, but once you're used to it, you get into it. You get more comfortable with it. It gets easier. Unfortunately, I still don't like being outnumbered by people, but because it's very difficult to get away from them when you do that. Oh, apparently the strategy is you've got to back up the whole time. It's like, what? That's not fighting. that's running away and going. It's not fighting.
Facing them while you run away.
Yeah, so that was one thing I never liked. If I could have a party of people to go in and fight groups of people, that would help a lot, because then I'm not fighting by myself. Then I haven't got someone trying to get behind me to stab me in the back with a sword when I've got like 3 other people fighting on my side. You know, so it helps.
How good would that game be if it had like a multiplayer aspect to it?
Oh,
like a band of knights. Even if it was only 4 of you, that would be so cool.
It would be so awesome. It really would be so awesome. You listening, guys? You listening?
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hint, hint.
Yeah, nudge, nudge, wink,
Oh,
wink.
but speaking of games like that, I don't know if you've tried Medieval Dynasty.
No, I want to. I have.
Man.
I have. I've tried it. Wow, dude, it's complicated. Especially in the beginning.
Since release, like I've always dove in, like here and there when there's a new update, and try it again, because you can't do everything and then come back after a break, because you come back and you're like, okay, well, what does this do?
Now you have to restart the whole game. So.
Whose kids are those? So I start over again every time, and
Yeah.
it's like my offline game where I'm not gonna get bothered by anyone, slap on some Netflix, and this is what I do.
Yeah.
And since release, I haven't actually been able to say, okay, now I'm gonna take a break now, come back for the next update. It's been genuinely quite like engulfing.
Oh,
But that's
nice.
the kind of game that you want, though. You want that type of game that keeps you hooked and makes you want to keep going back, not one that goes, okay, I'll just wait and then go back in like a month or 2 months or so. It's not really a fun game in my opinion.
100%. But it's like you were saying, you've been enjoying the Stardew Valley. Now, if they had taken Medieval Dynasty and done that same sort of multiplayer treatment where you could actually do this village with friends, I think that would have been like the cherry on the top.
Yeah, I like the concept though. I do. The whole concept of Medieval Dynasty, where you can actually build up your own town and you can make it into your own town, is really awesome. I just hope that they go further than just like, you know, building the town, because as far as I can see, you can only upgrade the building so far and no further.
So they get to a certain point where you have to like start expanding the town to. It almost becomes. And I think this is, I mean, because I'm a huge Satisfactory fan as well. It becomes more of a logistics thing later on, because it becomes more about managing what's happening within your settlement, not letting it get too big, but also keeping it flowing and not overflowing.
No, I looked at the game, and the complexities of it are actually, it's really intense, but it looks like it can be. I'm going to have a lot of fun playing it. I had to uninstall it because unfortunately I've got like 100 million games that I have to play online on Fridays, because they always change their bloody minds, and I can never keep one game installed on the computer, so I'm uninstalling and reinstalling games as I go along. So
He has no more space.
I've got no more space on my hard drive, so I mean, like, I have to uninstall Among Us now, and I have to uninstall Golf with Friends, because I don't know what they're going to pick next week. I don't know what they're going to pick the week after, and it's getting too much. And obviously there's games that I have to record as well. So I've got no space.
The life of a content creator.
Yeah, I have no space left on my hard drive, and I have to buy new hard drives now for both Kez and myself. She doesn't actually need one, but I'll get her one anyway.
Space.
Yeah, because you know what's going to happen eventually.
She's going to moan at me that she's got no space on her hard drive, yes. So I'm going to get a 2 terabyte, maybe a 4 terabyte hard drive, depending on what I can get. I'm going to load them into the PCs as well.
But I'm smart, because if there's something that I haven't played for at least 2 months, I uninstall it.
She says she's smart.
The bonus is with Game Pass that it's always there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you can always
that's
just go
true.
back to it.
She says she's smart
That's
because
true.
she never installs or she uninstalls games she doesn't play. Now, she doesn't understand the mind of a dyslexic, ADD, ADHD person. She doesn't understand our mind and how it works. Every game that is installed on my PC, I play. And I will play every single one of them at any given time. So, to give you an idea of
The thing is, if it's not there, you're going to install it and wait for it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to give you an idea of the list of games that I have installed on my PC at the moment. Okay, just so you can get an idea of how many games I'm playing. Alright, so I've got Dolmen, which we'll talk about later. And that'll be uninstalled soon anyway. I've got Kingdom Come Deliverance. I've got Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. I've got Euro Truck Simulator, Roller Coaster Tycoon, The Witcher 1, that is, Enhanced Edition. I've got Guild Wars. I've got X4 Foundations. I've got Borderlands. I've got PC Building Simulator, Tabletop Simulator, Elder Scrolls Online, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, because I'm almost finished with 2, so I've installed Brotherhood next. I've got Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, I've got Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, GTA 5, 7 Days to Die, Vampire the Masquerade, which is all of the
We're gonna
special
be here
ones,
forever,
Blood Money.
But the
Just-
point,
Just relax, I'm getting there.
the point is that out of those, just those that he's named, he's played like 10 recently.
I've played every single one of them.
Not recently.
I've had an inkling to play one, so I jump onto it. And then I play it for a bit. Kez only sees me when I'm playing one particular game. She comes into the office, she'll see me playing the game, and then she'll walk out again. She doesn't know that I switch between games while she's busy sitting in the lounge watching her TV show or playing whatever she's playing. I'm actually playing other games. I don't just play one game. Because I played and finished Hitman 2? No, Hitman Silent Assassin. Hitman 2 Silent Assassin is the one I finished on Friday night. And then I played Hitman Contracts for a bit until I realized, wait, I already played this because this is Hitman 1 or the Hitman Agent 40, Mr. 47 or whatever they called it. I've already played all the missions on that, so I uninstalled that and I've now installed Blood Money. But she only saw me playing Stardew Valley at one point, and then she walked out. And then she walked back in and I was still playing it because I was switching between games. I don't stick to one game though. I'm playing like 4 or 5 games at any given time. Because that's just me. Unfortunately, my brain does that, and that's why.
No, I do the same thing. I've got specific games that I keep for offline, and then I've got the stream games. The stream games are usually if we're playing a story-based game that everybody's really into. But otherwise, I mean, my offline game list is like, I've got Medieval Dynasty, which is where I'm like, okay, brain is tired now. Valheim, Sea of Thieves. I've got an art game called Such Art where you're literally a painter in space and you just paint the whole time. 7 Days to Die as well. Are you looking forward to A20?
I am. I'm hoping that they actually bring some fucking skins into the game, because they've got skin slots for all the fucking weapons, but you can't put anything on them. It's like, okay, well, I like they've got like the cool spade or that shovel that's got like the spike sticking out. I want my shovel to look like that when I'm carrying it.
More zombie friends for Kez?
More zombie friends for Kez, yes. There'll be plenty more zombie friends for you, my angel. But yeah, I'm looking forward to
A20 is looking good.
Hopefully they bring in the skins, because I do want to actually put some skins on my weapons. I want my shovel to look like those shovels. They've got such cool pictures. It's like, this is what the shovel can do. But it doesn't look like that. It looks like a piece of crap.
The only thing I've really seen so far is the building blocks. Like for me, in most games, like I really like the building things.
Yeah.
And the new building blocks that are in A20 are like great.
Yeah.
There are so many different ones.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. You can actually start making your homestead or your base actually look decent, which is quite cool.
Yes, not just a square.
Yeah, because I've been racking my brain on how I'm gonna make my I literally I've just taken over a house now, and I've got like an entire farm going on there. I've got trees like to the million on one side. I've got farms going on there, and I've now got to try and put weaponry, or I'm trying to put automatic guns in corners around the base, because I'm obviously making the entire place out of the entire outer ring of the place out of metal, so that the zombies have a hard time breaking them. And I'm putting guns everywhere, automatic guns, so whenever they screw around, they get shot. But I also have a mine. Yeah, she's like, she would just be off doing her own thing, and here I am building and like strategizing everything, and everything's being built perfectly, and I've got everything built to the right specs, and everything's working in the correct places. And Kez is just like,
I brought a fan.
she's like, look, I brought a zombie, and I'm like, fuck's sake. Okay, let's carry on. She'll bring the zombie into the base and just leave it there, and I'll like run in doing something, and there's a zombie standing in front of me.
We were having tea.
Yeah, so I had to kill every single time. I'm having to clear out the pests as she brings them in.
They're not pests, they're my friends.
They're pests.
They're my friends.
I can see it now with all the new blocks. She's gonna build a little home for them and just start hoarding all the zombies. One day you'll walk in there looking for something.
I'll walk in here and I'll just get fucking munched.
But you can then build a nice home for them, and then they'll love you forever and turn against their own kind, and then you can have a zombie army.
I don't think so.
I don't know if that's how it works, but it's a great imagination.
Yeah, it would be cool, but I don't think that's how it works.
You never know.
But yeah, no, at the moment I'm busy struggling with this bloody mine that I've got, because the freaking zombies keep getting into the... they keep going down, and they're getting...
Oh yeah, because they dig down now as well.
Yeah, which is really fucking irritating. Because I'm busy mining, and I'm mining and minding my own business, and these fucking zombies somehow know where I am, even though I'm like deep underground. They can still hear. It's like, I'm sorry, when did your hearing suddenly be able? When was your hearing so powerful you could hear underground?
Maybe they're World War Z zombies. Those zombies have super hearing.
Yeah, it's really stupid. But that's a bit annoying. I think that their AI has become a little bit too I can go anywhere and
sensitive?
I can hear you. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too sensitive now. And the cock thing is those screamers or the screeches, dude. They just keep appearing now. It's like every fucking 5 minutes I've got one of them appearing at where I am. I'm thinking of just like...
So those apparently go according to the heat maps.
Yeah.
So the more heat you're generating.
Yeah.
But I mean, they should have like you say, they all the time. There should be some sort of like cooldown timer.
Yeah. Just a breakpoint, just like, okay, so it'll appear once every 2 days or once every day or something like that. That's fine. I can deal with once every day. Because then I'm not having to constantly go up, shoot it and go down. Go up, shoot and go down. I have literally mined hardly anything because I keep having to go up and shoot these bloody screeches. It's killing me. Yes. Look at screeches.
Are there any other games that you are looking forward to coming out next year?
Oh, there was something that I was actually talking about last night, and I can't remember what it is because now all I can think about is playing Witcher again.
Sorry.
When is it? It's in February that it comes out. Was it end of January? What
Ring?
was it? Yes, Elden Ring. I am looking
Everyone's
forward to Elden Ring.
I'm on the fence, but I will always be on the fence with any game that comes out.
Our editor is super.
I understand that. Like for me, I got thrown into the deep end with Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Some of my friends were like, "Okay, cool. This is like when I decided, okay, no more WoW. I need to experience new things." They were like, "Great. Here's a copy of Dark Souls." We're gonna get you all of them, but you've got to do a full boss run for every one of them. And I was like, okay, well, it's gonna keep me away from WoW. Let's do it. Listen, there's certain things that happen to a man after 73 deaths to the same boss.
Hey, at least you got the game knowing what it was. I bought the Dark Souls trilogy.
She thought it was Darksiders.
I thought it was Darksiders. I'm like, I love these games. I want them. I'm gonna buy them. And then I started playing it. I'm like, this is not what I wanted. And I haven't touched it again because I can't even get through the first boss. It makes me so angry.
Yeah, no, I'm used to it. So when Kez got it, I'm like, are you sure you want this game? And she's like, yeah, no, I've always wanted it. I'm like, really? You have? She's like, yes, I've always wanted it. I'm like, okay, buy it. Because I've got Bloodborne, dude. So I know the kind of the kind of pain that the Dark Souls games are, which is why I don't mind playing Dark Souls because I've got Bloodborne. So I know how to actually deal with being fucked up 5 times, and then 10 times, and then 100 times, and then constantly going back and dying, and then it all just restarts again, and everyone comes back, and oh god, I know what it's like.
That game, I will never touch again.
Yeah. So
there's another one. If you're a fan of. Shame.
She's got her Dark Souls.
There's another one if you're a fan of the Souls-like games. There's another one that's come out. There's also it's actually an indie title that is in this realm of how they do games. I don't even think you can call it a genre because I mean I've literally got this game and all my Dark Souls. The category on my Steam is called Destroys Will to Live.
That's definitely a category of games. I would say there are games out there that actually destroy your will to live. I've got a few. It's not just Bloodborne and Dark Souls.
What's it called?
What's this game?
It's called Mortal Shell.
I've heard of it.
Mortal Shell. So basically, in this one, you have your character, and then you get different armors that give you different abilities. And the base game is awesome. Really loved it. It wasn't as difficult as Dark Souls was. I will say that because I think once you realize there's different armors for different bosses, it's literally just a case of go, see what he does, die, get the right armor, go back.
Okay.
But they then created a DLC, which is a roguelite version of the game. So you go through levels and layers, I suppose, of monsters and bosses. And at the end of each one, like every other roguelite, you choose different abilities and upgrades and bits and bobs to make each run different. And that is just, it's so much fun.
No,
it's so much fun.
That's pretty cool. No,
Elden Ring does look exciting though. Like, I don't think I'll buy it because I'm not. The other games make me too angry. But I might just watch other people and see what it's like, and then we might get it. But I've seen a lot of people really excited for it.
It'll just be added to the PlayStation.
I'm excited
collection.
to see. I'm hoping that it will be something that will come on like Game Pass or something. But it's going to be nice to see the Souls setting in an open world type of genre. It's going to be interesting to see how it's handled, I think.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you can ride your horse around, you can do this and that, but does that mean that bosses and things are going to roam around?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. Like, if it's a case of, cool, the boss is in this region, but we don't know where, you still got to go there and find him. That's going to be great. But if it's like all the others, then they may as well have just made a linear map.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. I think that would be quite interesting to actually see how they actually build Elden Ring. If we do get the game, which more than likely we'll add it to the PlayStation collection. So it'll be along the lines of, we've got all the Dark Souls, and we've got Bloodborne, so we may as well just have Elden Ring on the PlayStation as well. It wouldn't make sense to not. But in the same token, maybe pointless because we don't have PS5.
Oh no!
It's impossible to get them, dude. And you know what? I don't care. I've got a PC, so I'm fine.
Yeah. Look, the only reason I have a console is because I have a kid. So.
Yeah, no, I've got a console for the games that I can play, that I do enjoy there, and I do have games that I play on console. But yeah, I get it. I do.
The only games I play on there is UFC 4. I'm a big UFC fan. I played most of the games, so. And again, the best part about it is on Game Pass.
True.
I don't even have to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I got a Microsoft controller for my PC so that I could play games like racing games, like Forza Horizon, for example, on my PC because I'm not going to buy an Xbox as well. I'm not going to waste my money and buy something that my PC could outbeat. You know, I don't see the point.
It's like for me, I'm literally just waiting for things to get a bit easier with the whole graphics cards and the chip shortage and whatever. And I'm most probably going to be moving the kid onto a computer, and then it's like the Xbox will become the Netflix machine.
Yeah, well, at this point, our PlayStation is the Netflix machine. Well, not really. I mean, we do play games.
Play on it. Like,
also
I'm
got
playing
VR.
on it now. So.
Yeah, and also
But you see, the thing is, that's the thing. If we had a PlayStation, I would be playing the VR and I'd be playing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man looks cool.
Yeah, there are some exclusives that Sony has, which is why I actually why I will be getting a PS5 at some point, like Gran Turismo 7. I love my Gran Turismos, so I have to have 7. But that'll be later on.
Something else I saw, another murmuring is that PlayStation is considering doing something like Game Pass.
That would be cool.
Yes. But I wonder if they'll do what Xbox did and have a PC selection as well.
That's a good question.
Hopefully PS Plus will be included in that Game Pass thing because they've got PlayStation Now, which is it's like Stadia, dude. You don't want to do it, trust me.
We tried it. It wasn't really. It wasn't worth it.
It's not worth it, no, because they release the. It's cool because they bring games in and you can play certain games and then they go away, and they have certain staples that stay. But the problem is it's all streaming. And the lag, dude, PlayStation Now would work really well if there wasn't so much lag. If Sony does actually bring out something similar to Game Pass, I hope that they keep it that PlayStation Plus stays part of that, because Microsoft does that. Game Pass gives you access to online play with your friends. So if Sony doesn't do that, they're going to be shooting themselves in the foot. They actually are going to be shooting themselves in the foot.
From what I understand, they've actually taken it a step further now, and at some point next year, there won't actually be the whole
Alright guys, so it looks like we've unfortunately lost Soldin, which really sucks because we were kind of like having a good chat there and we were actually just about to end off anyway. But we'll have to have Soldin on again. What our dear editor will do, he will put all of the information to find him and his channel and stuff.
You can find him on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
There you go. So find him there. You can watch his videos. Hit the subscribe button to follow him as well, because he's quite an interesting he's quite an interesting content creator actually. But anyway, guys, if you liked what you saw here, you know what to do. Just follow us most places. Hit that like button if you liked the video and tell us why, or not. Depends on you. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it. Please tell us why you didn't like it, so that we can fix the problems that were there. And guys, hit that subscribe button if you really liked us. But as always, remember,
Give it.
give it.